welcome to the Author Lifestyle and Book Talk Show by Eye Opener Productions Global Network Limited. With me on the show today is Mr. Dustin Pickering. Dustin Pickering was born in Decatur, Georgia. Following the death of his maternal grandmother to a drunk driver, his parents divorced and he was put in the custody of his father's mother and sister. Many troubled years followed, including a shoplifting stint that landed him in juvenile detention center at age 14. He was then put in Catholic schools and graduated from O'Connell High School in 1999. After battling mental illness in college, he had to drop out. The years following, he would be in and out of mental health facilities until determination forced him to discontinue the habits that led to hospitalization. In his 30s, he founded the literary journal Harbinger Asylum. After a few years publishing it, he opened Transcendent Zero Press with the publication of Marcy Ian's Passion's Death and poet Ken Jones's Mr. Karma. He has published over 100 books by others, as well as a quarterly journal for over 14 years. He moderated readings and coordinated events in Houston for several years for fundraisers. He has published several poetry collections, including Souls and Sorrow, Chitrangi, Only and Again, set to publishers, and his first, The Daunting Ephemeral, was self-published under Transcendent Zero Press. He also published a novella, short story collection, and a fairy tale with Alien Buddha Press. In 2020, at the height of coronavirus, he joined with Mutiu Olawiyi to confound World Thinkers Printing and Publishing, which began as Parrot Literary Corner. Parrot Literary Corner was an interview series featuring poets, writers, artists, musicians, and other creatives. It moved into World Thinkers Network, a YouTube channel interviewing creatives across the globe. For one full year, we had an interview each day. Dustin Pickering also placed in the top 100 for the Abasa Prize in 2021 and 2023 out of thousands of submissions. He was a finalist in Adelaide Literary Journal's first short story fiction contest. He has published literary reviews in Colorado Review, World Literature Today, Los Angeles Review, The Statesman, India, and other publications. He was selected for the Rahim Karim Prize in 2022 and was given the Knight of World Peace by the World Institute of Peace that same year. He enjoys listening to music and reading when he is not working in publishing or other ventures. His tastes range from punk, rock, jazz, folk, alternative rock, grunge, classical, and R&B. Favorite performers and composers are Beethoven, Stravinsky, Wilson Pickett, Nirvana, Leonard Cohen, Marvin Gaye, John Lennon, Sex Pistols, The Clash, Sarah McLachlan, P.J. Harvey, and others. His favorite poets and writers are James Joyce, Leonard Cohen, Tagore, Sylvia Plath, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, James Cohort, Leonard Michael, Hegel, and many others. He enjoys philosophy, theology, and psychoanalysis. He has lectured for two colleges in India concerning the state and purpose of poetry. He lives in Houston, Texas, USA, as a disabled U.S. citizen. I am delighted to have you on the show, Mr. Pickering. You're a very popular and amazing presenter, and I am quite honored that you accepted my invitation to come on my show. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for the invitation.
My honor. Mr. Pickering, many writers around the globe have had the amazing opportunity of coming up on the World Thinkers Network show, previously known as the New York Literary Parrot, myself included. I would like to know what inspired you to start the World Thinkers Network show?
It was actually Matiu's idea. I published in one of his anthologies about 2010 or so. It was a Muse for Women was the name of the anthology, and basically from then we started a professional relationship. And he, I guess, seeing that I had been in publishing for 15 years, he saw some leadership qualities to me, and so he put me in as an interviewer for the literary parrot and the literary corner for the New York Parrot. And We did anthologies. We did interviews. We did an interview every day for like a year, and we continue to do them on a semi-regular basis. So basically, do that, and because the internet was becoming the hot model of things at the time for during the coronavirus, and I thought that was a good time to kind of strike it while it was hot. And mostly me and Mattia we were getting along very well as professional colleagues and so forth, and so we became business partners at that point. And it's still going on. We're still doing interviews, and from time to time when we have people available, and we're planning an anthology called Writers Speak. It's on current events, world events all over the globe, and we want to make it international. And that was part of the goal for world thinkers to kind of give a global perspective of the literary community and the arts community.
Okay. The World Literary Powers is the World Literary Network, previously known as the Power Literary TV, is one of the most popular TV shows around the literary community, featuring amazing authors from around the world. And I really respect the collaboration between you and Mr. Mutiu Olawi. Thank you very much for your service to the literary community. Okay, your bio explains that you had to face some pretty tough times growing up. In what way did your early years change your perspective of life, especially towards writing?
Well, my early years were very difficult. I think I matured a lot differently than most people because I learned that sorrow was essential to life very young with my grandmother's passing, or when she was killed by a drunk. My experiences in life get incorporated into my writing, whether I intend them to be there or not. Because I notice there's a lot of mourning in my writing. There's a lot of things that there's references to theft. As you mentioned, I had a shoplifting stint when I was a kid. It's a very run changed my life and ran it around the other direction. When I got caught shoplifting at a mall, and I ended up in Catholic school. But I especially think that my earliest years kind of conditioned me to understanding a life from a different perspective than most people, because most people, from my impressions is, at least during the '80s when I grew up, was most kids had the nuclear family for to an extent. I mean, they had difficulties, but they had their mother and their father, and I kind of grew up with a lot of confusion because people would ask, why are you being raised by your aunt and grandmother? And I would have to explain, this is what happened, and go into that story. And it became a big part of explaining myself throughout my life. And it was very difficult to go through that. And I think that questioning process also led me to writing more about those kind of things, like what is life? I mean, what does life mean? What does it mean to live? And so grew up asking these questions very young, and so they ended up in my writing in some implicit way. And I think that's the main focus. I think that's pretty much how my writing is affected by my life. It's indirect. The symbolism of my life becomes the symbolism of my writing.
Okay, okay. Uh, I am curious. Most writers seem to appreciate art. They find it inspirational when it comes to writing. Does art
Mhm.
also inspire you in regards to your writing?
Yes, there's quite a few artists I used to just love, and I still do love Picasso, Salvador Dali, especially Salvador Dali. I think he's very much rooted in an intellectual tradition of painting rather than just for the aesthetic value. And I love looking at the symbols of figurative art as well as kind of art, and trying to decipher what the artist may have intended to mean. And I use a lot of that in my poetry. I've actually entered ekphrastic contests. There's a Friendswood Public Library ekphrastic contest. I won a jury prize for that some years ago. Entered that contest. I think that was 2020. And so I do write on art, and I do get inspired by looking at visuals, and especially like very strange stuff that's very, yeah, esoteric, and you can just interpret it in many ways. I like ambiguity a lot.
Okay.
Are you a writer who owns a YouTube channel and would like your poems made into unique poetry videos that will entertain your audience? Eye Opener Productions offers various types of poetry videos like animation, spoken words, and real life poetry videos. We also offer trailer videos to promote your debut releases. Knock our door and we'll be there to offer you professional book cover designs. Eye Opener Productions also offers book publication services of international standard. We offer website development services. Check out a few samples of our projects through the links below. www.cacgrammarschoolakure.com, www.expressyourloveforliterature.blog. We offer app creation services. Contact us at eyeopenerproductionservices@gmail.com. Eye Opener Productions, making positive changes.
Do you inculcate music into your writing?
I think
Most writers, they say that when they write, they listen to music. Like me, sometimes I listen to music to get inspired. Does this apply to you too?
Yeah, sometimes I actually do put on an album, something I'm interested in. I listen to a lot of different music, and I like to sometimes I'll put on a CD and I'll just let it play, and as I'm writing, a word will kind of snap out of the CD into my imagination, and I'll just play with it. I'll just run with it. You just take the craft as it comes.
All right. Can you please take a few minutes to give the audience a brief overview of your lifestyle as a poet? And in the moments when poetry isn't what you're working on, what are your other engagements?
Mostly, I listen to music. I tend to chores, cleaning the house. I do a lot of lately. I've been doing some walking. I just go out and walk because I don't have a job right now. I don't have any actual occupation right now. I do the interviews that I do. I do a lot of promotion for writers. I try to get the word out about our books we've published. I listen to a lot of music. I read a lot, and of course, writing is a big part of the day. I don't have any regular habits. I kind of eschew habits in a way because I don't. I just don't have the regularity that a lot of people need. I don't really feel like I need that.
Okay.
But different things during the day.
All
So
right.
that kind of gives you an overview.
Okay. Mr. Pickering would like to give us a tour of his apartment. Come along, everyone.
My name is Dustin Pickering. I'm here to give you a tour of my apartment and show you my general interests and lifestyle choices. This is the lamp I use to write and read. This is the fan I use to keep cool. Here's some books, some papers, a little notebook. These are paintings I've done over the years, many, many years. This is a drawing pad. Here's some poetry, and this is one place where I like to spend a lot of time. This is my personal laptop. You'll see here the World Inkers website is open for creating a page. This is a poem I just published on the website. You'll also see a book we just published, Light Inspired by. This is my guitar. These are my CDs and some of my personal paintings. These are some of my CDs. There's some others up above. This is a letter sent to me by former President Donald Trump during his administration. This is a painting given to me by my friend Lucy Wilson. It is signed by the artist Bernard Stanley. He's a famous Jamaican painter. And this is a print. I'm a big fan of black liberation movements, any kind of liberation movement to increase our civil rights and liberties. These are my bookcases. I'm gonna go kind of slow here so you can kind of get an idea of what I read. This is mostly poetry. You'll see all varieties of poetry, different countries, different approaches to poetry. So far I've shown you all the poetry. Here at the bottom, here's some philosophy, mostly existential philosophy. Some other schools of philosophy are represented in my collection. Here is some of my politics, history and politics. I'm interested in everything. There's even some biology down here. You'll see there's some Darwin books, Lauren Isley. There's some books on painting, books on photography, One of my favorite books I'll pull up here is Ulysses by James Joyce, and Finnegan's Wake is another favorite. Henry Miller is a favorite as well. Mostly I read and write, and here's some of the poetry collections you'll see. A lot of different kinds, a lot of variety here. And then there's the Philosophy Tao Te Ching. I'm going to take you a little bit outside and let you see the outside of my apartment. Give me just a second. This is me outside. I'm Dustin Pickering, Editor-in-Chief, Harbinger Asylum, which is now defunct. I also run Transcendent Zero Press. And I'm a World Inkers printing and publishing editor.
Wow, you have an interesting book collection, Mr. Pickering. The number of books on your shelf shows that you're an avid reader, and I am in awe of the entire display.
Thank you.
Mr. Pickering, if you had an opportunity to time travel, would you rather travel to the past to amend your wrongs or travel to the future to know what it holds for you?
It's an interesting question. If I travel to the past to amend my wrongs, my future would probably be much different. As I've learned in the past, my mistakes and some of my gravest errors in life have led to some of my greatest resurrection moments. For instance, the shoplifting where I was put in juvenile detention for about a month. I ended up in Catholic school where I started studying existentialism and stuff. So that kind of taught me that your mistakes can often lead to. I don't recommend doing those things. I'm just saying, like sometimes you find that you get stuck in a position and you have to make amends, and so that would be a good question to ask. And as far as learning of my future prospects, what would happen, I think that I like to be surprised. I like to know what's coming up. But if I had to take a pick between the two, I think I would probably go with learning a little bit about my future, because then I could probably make some preparations.
Okay. Okay. Would you like to read any favorite poem of yours by a favorite contemporary author of your choice?
Sure. I actually have one here. This is I'll hold the book up. Robert Lavitt Smith. I know it does the mirror. His name is Robert Lavitt Smith. He's a contemporary. I believe he's based in California. And I have not actually read this poem, but I've read a lot of his work, and I just picked one at random here. And it's called Saint Jerome and the Skull. His beard nods in time to the scrape of his quill. When his dim eyes rise, they find the skull. The dark omegas of the sockets, an alphabet of gumless teeth. The cracks that cross its brittle surface resemble rivers, outlines of continents. Already he guesses the world is round, hollowed out of the void like a drowned man's breath. The cave encircles him, moon in its mouth. He grinds ink from mulberries, burns pale candles, smelling of lard and honey. Slowly, the wide pages fill.
Wow,
Robert Lavitt Smith.
I like that. I think he makes use of imagery a lot in his poems.
Mm-hmm.
His
I
words
really
kind of,
enjoy that about it.
yes, it kind of gives me something to imagine. Okay, I'm going to reading a lovely poem by Mr. Dustin Pickering. It's titled Dreaming of Love. Enjoy. Dreaming of love. The past remains present, glowing in the mind's shroud, dense and yet dying. Its light escapes over a branch. The mighty night overcomes my passion, drawn in pretext. Lips kiss the dawn, offering a place for love. However, the silent echo will remain. I hear within the walls a face motionless and whispering, I begin to dream again of love. Wow, fabulous poem, Mr. Dawson. Really fabulous.
Thank you. Wonderful performance.
Thank you. Mr. Pickering, before the show comes to an end, would you please share your social media handles for viewers who would like to follow you on social media and possibly those who will be interested in coming up on your amazing show?
You can reach me at publication.worldinkers@gmail.com. And you can find World Inkers Printing and Publishing on social media like Facebook. You can definitely find us there. You can find me, Dustin Pickering, on Facebook. You'll say, founder of Transcendent Zero Press, etc. You can find Transcendent Zero Press as well on Facebook. I definitely want to see some people coming in for World Inkers interviews and some poets, send us some poetry, some writing, essays, articles, anything you have. So that would be publication.worldinkers@gmail.com.
Okay, I highly recommend World Inkers Network. Very fantastic show. So please make sure you contact Mr. Dustin Pickering. Mr. Dustin, is there anything you'd like to say to your fan base or to the viewers before you go?
I'd like to thank my aunt, especially my aunt Deborah, who's been a very dramatic support for me over the years. And all the authors that contribute to our platform, thank you so much for being a part of the platform. It's what makes it great. It's not so much about me or you, it's about and the world artist community. So thank you for making it what it is. And all the artists and people who've inspired me over the years, including the famous ones and the ones that are not so famous. I've had a lot of friends that have continued to instigate my thoughts, and that's a wonderful experience. Thanks to all my friends and buddies, especially Zach Wise, Melissa Chappelle, Steve Denson, Alex Moss, and others, that Suzanne Denson, and their family, the Denson family, has been very, very essential to my well-being as well, and to my inspiration. And so thank you very much to all of them.
Okay. I've had a fabulous time today on the show with you, Mr. Pickering, and I hope that I'll have another opportunity of hosting you on this show again in the near future.
Thank you.
This brings us to the end of today's episode of Auto Lifestyle and Book Talk Show. To all the viewers, I say a big thank you to you for staying tuned to this show. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel called Express Your Love for Literature, like and comment on our videos. I am Elizabeth Ogunmodede, a 16-year-old entrepreneur, author, and your host on this show. Stay blessed and safe always. Bye.